Hey y'all, this is Willie Bill, and I got a review for you this week. This week we've got these shoes right here. What these is called are Altra. These are Ultra shoes. Now, not to be mistaken with the normal word Ultra spelled with a U. These are Altra spelled with an A. Everybody's clever with their naming anymore. What this shoes is these are running shoes. These are meant for like running on a trail. And what's special about these is that they are what's called zero drop. So from the back to the front, from the heel to the toe, it's the same level. So that means your foot's flat the way that your foot operates normally. Gee, that's a brilliant idea. Why don't you make me a shoe that makes my foot work the way that it already worked? Man, there's a handful of companies out there doing it. Merrell, I know, does a bunch of them. Ultra, I think Solomon, and Innovate, and there's a bunch now. But the logic, I think, is quite sound. I don't know how we got to a place where we start putting all kind of cushion underneath the heel of your foot, walking like you're in high heels while you're trying to run away from a cougar. It don't make no sense. Flat shoe makes your foot work the way it was meant, and I think that's a very reasonable idea. I've definitely become a fan of a zero drop shoe. These ones in particular, I've had a very, very positive experience with. These are very light shoes. There's not a whole lot going on here, and I'm not a huge runner. I started trail running. I think I can get up to like 5-6 miles now, which for me is a huge accomplishment, and it's fantastic exercise. So that's good. And by doing that, it stepped up my ability to hike. Now, that's coming very handy, because if I want to go backpacking or I want to go climb some mountain out in Colorado here, we like to climb what's called 14ers and 13ers, things like that. Which I've become more adept at because I started running. Go figure. I've said go figure too many times in this review, but I will try to refrain for the rest. This shoe was a discovery of mine this year, and they make this with like a waterproof version, and they make one that's like got a higher ankle, things like that. This one here is the non-waterproof. It is the what is it called? Where do they write it? Here, Altra Lone Peak 4.5. Zero limits equipment. That's fake, because I cannot fly or go to Mars with these. There are limits, Ultra, but it's still like a real good shoe. So zero drop, we talked about that. Super light. There's not a lot of material here, so as far as like protection, you're going to hit rocks and things like that. It's not very protective. Now around the toe here, they do have a little thicker material. Same at the heel. It's a little bit thicker, and that does seem to be effective. I've gone up a handful of peaks in these now. I've gone backpacking with them. My feet were fine. In fact, they're very comfortable. One of the things that they do is they make this front part of the shoe very wide. So it allows your foot to spread out like that, and it feels good. I know for me, I got a real problem when my foot's squeezed. I have a shoe that's narrow, and it squeezed my foot in like that. I get a whole lot of pain in the center of my foot. Now, I realize I'm demonstrating this with my hand, but your hand and your foot are shaped very similar, so I think you can identify with what part of foot I'm describing right now. So I get that pain. These shoes, I don't get that, because it allows my foot to spread out like that, and it feels good. Laces are pretty standard. The sole has this funny like barefoot footprint, which makes it very obvious when somebody's been on a trail. You can see that they're wearing this kind of shoe. I'm surprised how grippy this is. I thought that on loose rocks and things like that, it wasn't going to be that good. And it's actually been surprisingly effective. I do know that they put a piece of plastic inside here. I think that's what this is describing. No, that says Max Track. Oh, here, it says Stone Guard. And it's called Stone Guard. Now, when you step on like a small rock, you don't really feel it through the shoe, which is surprising because this is a really flexible shoe. But you don't get that like pressure point through, and that's got to be because of the Stone Guard, that plastic insert. So I think that's very effective. And then they also build features into here for what's called gaiters. Now I'll do another review of the gaiters, but on the back there's a Velcro piece that opens up, and that will help capture the gaiter. And what the gaiter is like a material that goes up here, goes tight on your ankle so that rocks don't get inside the shoe. This is also tremendous because I get rocks in my shoe all the time, and those gaiters are a lifesaver. So those gaiters are a lifesaver. That should be like a song. It's a very, very convenient rhyming scheme that those gaiters are a lifesaver. I'll have to think about that a little bit more. But yeah, we'll talk about those gaiters another day. They have a thing on here, athlete ID, and a summits with little like check boxes. That's a bit absurd. I don't know who's gonna like put checks in the boxes when they summit things in these shoes, but I guess that was fun in the art department to like put that there. Don't change how the shoe works, and the shoe works just fine. So I'd say these shoes have been awesome. I'm a real fan of these things, and they've been treating me well. I did get a pair of the waterproof ones as well. I plan to use those in the winter, and I'm seriously considering getting one of the high top ones to maybe give me a little bit more waterproofness. I can't imagine that the high top is going to give you much support. I think it's just going to give you a little higher point that you won't get fluid in, which is cool. So yeah, that's the Altra Lone Peak 4.5 shoe, which I'm a big fan of. And actually, that's something else I should point out. I carried a 45-pound pack, backpacking in these, and it was not a problem. I have really terrible ankles, so I have to be careful of that. But as far as like weight and soreness on my feet, there's no problem at all. So yeah, these shoes have been surprisingly good. I had a bunch of friends using them, telling me how great they were, and I thought they're full of it. But they're actually pretty tremendous. So Altra Lone Peak 4.5. If that's the kind of thing you're looking for, go check them out. And we'll see you in a week. Make sure you subscribe, like, tell your friends, do all that kind of thing, and we'll keep this going for you. All right, y'all have a good one. Get outside, do something. We'll see you soon.